Howdy y'all, TheJTJ here with Inkscape tutorial number 11, the Calligraphy Tool. Alright, you can find the Calligraphy Tool in your toolbox right here. The quick key to select that is C, so you can select it using that. Now the Calligraphy Tool basically writes in a calligraphy style pen. You can manipulate it with all of these different settings to make it look however you want it to. I want to say that I'll be using a mouse today, but if you have a drawing tablet with a stylus, you can do really awesome calligraphy art with this software. So the first thing is there's a drop down with no preset, and it'll allow you to set anything that you want. It's sort of just the default sort of layout. You also have the next one down is a dip pen, and it looks like this. A marker, which has more of a rounded end look. A brush. Wiggly. Splotchy. And finally, a thin tracing line. Now, the other thing that's very interesting here is if I wanted to adjust some of these settings, like I decided to do a project where I wanted to up some of these settings to get an exact look, like I wanted sort of a rough look like that, you can actually come right here to this icon, select it. I'm going to name it New Line, save it. Now it's in this drop down, so you can set several of these. If you have a different writing style you want to use, or you have some presets that you really like, I suggest you put them in here. Now if you go back here, say you did something you did not like, click on it again, and the option to delete it will be visible, so you can go ahead and delete that if you did not like it. Alright, we'll go down these real quick. The width is pretty self-explanatory. If I draw a line like this, then I increase the width, it'll be a little thicker. Pressure of input device, that setting and is for if you have a tablet. Thinning, the thinning is basically used on how much velocity thins the stroke. So if you move it quicker, it should be thinner. Angle of the brush is, or angle of the pen, is a pretty advanced setting. It goes into, when you look at the actual, you're thinking about this as an old school calligraphy pen with sort of the flat end on it. The angle actually goes into what angle that it would be held at, so that can adjust the look of the actual ink when it hits the paper. The fixation is angle. It's an angle behavior. Caps is the actual end of the and to do a brush, the caps is a really good one to mess with. So if you go here and let's set the caps up, you notice how they'll change. Trimmer is basically if your hand was sort of moving. Wiggle. And then the mask. So those are your basic settings. Now something that you will run into, let's go back to dip pen. Now if I decide to do a stroke like this, notice that it creates the shape right over and it looks perfectly fine like you would see on a piece of paper. However, if for some reason you didn't want that, or for some reason it isn't doing, like it's making hollow pieces right here, you need to adjust a setting in the stroke and fill palette. So you can get there by double clicking on this color right here. You can go up to Object, Fill and Stroke, or you can always go Shift Control F, and it'll bring up the stroke and fill palette. There's two icons in the right side. One is sort of a solid looking shape and the other one has a hole in it. Right now we have the solid selected, but if I was to go this way, notice that it made whatever you overlap visible behind. So if I was to do that again, you'll see how you can see through it. Go back and it's filled. So if you run into that problem, that's the answer to it. So that's about it for the calligraphy tool. Please watch our next tutorial, tutorial number 12, Fill. Thanks for watching.